Hello, my name is Walter Hayhurst. I'm a pharmacist. I've been for since 1968, so you guys do the math. I consult with several companies around the country. My background, my original partner helped Denton Cooley start open heart surgery. He and I started a company that went all over the world, customized compounding medications. We touch hundreds of millions of patients, uh, almost that many every year. I am now semi-retired, and I consult with three different companies that really, I believe, have some answers for us. Genetically, uh, my mom and dad were very ill. Consequently, through the years, I developed five terminal inflammatory diseases and several other that were very problematic. Uh, by doing three things in my life, I've really now not only helped myself, I've actually reversed most of those symptoms and those side effects. I'm going to be 74. I gained 81 pounds over those 15 or 20 years. I've lost all of that weight. A couple of years ago, I got so bad I really did lose my short-term memory because of some toxins that I was involved in. And I've been able to reverse all of that, including my heart disease. I had 100% blockage of my left anterior descending artery in 2006. I couldn't even drive up to 5,000 feet, and today I live at almost 9,000 feet, and I go outside and I work physically. So I wish I could have figured all of this out 20 years ago, but my nieces and nephews who have my genetics hopefully won't be as impacted as I have been these last 40 or 50 years. Uh, to me, the critical thing was biotoxins. So I got on a website called Immunolytics, and I bought a 4 plates that I tested my home myself because I'd had several people come and go. When they finished, it was always worse. It cost a fortune. And some of the chemicals they used were a lot worse for me than the mold that I thought I had in my one home. So once I got that little mold test kit, I put out the plates, followed the directions, put them out for 1 hour, wrapped them up, and then I sent them into a lab, Immunolytics lab in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Uh, Phenomenal organization. They 4 or 5 days later, they sent me pictures. They gave me genus, species count, and the things I had in my home were very, very detrimental to me because of my genetics. Now, half of my family can live in moldy homes, eat moldy cheese, do everything wrong, and live to be 100. The other half of the family, unfortunately, does everything right, quote unquote, and they die of inflammatory problems earlier in life. And I almost followed that. See, it's been 10 years since I almost died. Came within 1 second. My ejection fraction rate went down to just a very minimal amount, and no one thought that I would really make it. Today, my cardiologist has actually kicked me out of his practice. I go down there a couple times, once every 2 years, because I have zero discernible heart disease now. That's impossible because I know a little bit about it, but it's the truth. So what do we do once you find out from an independent lab that you do have mold problems? What I do is, number one, I looked at the environment, and I thought in terms of a safe room for myself. So I really did everything that everyone said. I sprayed the carpet in my room. I went down to Walmart and bought a very inexpensive HEPA air purifier. I sprayed that every day, and I sprayed my rooms. And on this website that I go to, it's called CitriSafe, and that's CitriSafe.com. They have about 50 products. I personally use several of them. I have for almost 15 years. They're natural as can be. To my knowledge, it's never had one patient not be able to use all of those products. And on the environmental side, I spray my home on a regular basis. Even the one I'm in today is made out of concrete, steel, and rock, and I'm at 9,000 feet in the Rockies. So it is the best place in the world for me and my genetics to try to survive. I want to live to be 90 because I want to help my nieces and nephews' children that are already starting to get ill. So I'm highly motivated to work with several companies around the country and give you guys tools to help yourselves, because if you go to everyone that's a guru, I talk to people that spend $100,000, their homes are bad and they're still dying. So since I have gone through that, I don't want you guys to do that. So what I do every day, I spray my room, I spray my HEPA filters while they're running. I had a little bit of carpet, and I use a product called Mold, M-O-L-D solution. That's what I spray the homes with. I used a half of a pint of the pure stuff, and a rug doctor cleaned up my one rug. And now today I just have concrete floors. I have just a little bit of hardwood that I clean on a regular basis. And then more importantly, I keep those HEPA filters blaring, and then I send out those plates on a regular basis. I buy them from Pharmasource. They're about $3 a piece. And when I put out those plates every week, if I have 4 or 5 somethings that I don't know about, I send that one plate into the lab, and Immunolytics will do 1 or 2 plates for me now, because I'm a good customer. I've sent a lot of plates to those guys. So they know what they're doing, and because some molds look really scary, they're really not too toxic. Some things look like innocent snowflakes, and that's the antigenistic species that actually makes me very, very ill from the toxins of all the toxic molds and other chemicals in my life. So get someone involved that really knows what they're doing. Once you get into that situation and do that, if you check the box that said, have a pharmacist call me, I may be one of those guys and give you a buzz. I don't charge any for that. Like I said, I've done very well, and I do benefit from some of these relationships, but I used to own a lot of these companies, and when I almost died in 10 years ago, I really I got rid of everything, and I thought I really thought my life was over, and so did my doctors. So I don't have anything, I don't have a dog in this hunt. You know, I'm an old Texan. I want to give you guys the tools to really help yourself. So the environment, hey, I test, I spray, I retest. In other words, I'll put those plates in a drawer for 3 days. And if there's anything unusual that it bothers me, I send that one plate into J.W.B. Ava's operation there in Albuquerque, the Immunolytics lab. Now, if that does not work, then I go to the next step. I have a gentleman that used to come in and charge a lot of money to fog my home with this amazing system. He has thermal imaging capabilities. He does amazing jobs as far as finding where the mold is. But then he used to come in and fog my home. Cost a lot of money, several $1,000s a year. Today, he sold me the equipment and taught me how to use it myself, so he doesn't have to come from Lawton, Oklahoma to come treat my home. I put out the plates, and if there's anything there, and very seldom is there anything in my homes now, because I use the product mold solution. But if I have to, every once in a while I get out that fogger, I fog the heck out of my home myself, and boy, I put out plates, and a week later I still don't have any mold in my home. That's exciting, because I used to really be very upset about this, because you feel like you can't control your environment. You got to keep the humidity down, and Jeff at BioBalance can help you there. His number is 505-400-8891, and after you've gotten that report, you can call Immunolytics. They will be glad to give you how to get a hold of Jeff if you can't get a hold of him at that number. But then they can email your report with your permission to Jeff or to someone like myself, and I will be glad to go over what I do to keep that environment clean. We don't have time to do all of that today, but I'm a phone call, or Immunolytics is a phone call away, Jeff's a phone call away, and we're here to try to give you good, solid information we can make better decisions. Now, the environment, I've sort of told you, what I do. What about myself? Because when you walk outside, I don't care where you are, mold's everywhere. It's on your clothes, it's on your hair, it's everywhere. It's on your shoes, the bottom of your shoes. So what do? Every night, I go into my shower and I shampoo up with a shampoo that's designed to help alleviate all the mold and the toxins that come off of all these bacteria and things off of me. So I get in there and I shampoo up. It's also a body wash. I wash my body, stand there for a few minutes, and then I rinse off with non-chlorinated water, and especially for women, take that to heart. You don't want chlorine, fluorine, or bromine in your life if you're female. And that's a 3-day course, and I can't go into that. But believe me, you don't want to mess with it. So on the website, there is a filter that you can unscrew the head of your shower, screw the filter on, screw it back on. It takes a minute, and it's the best the United States can make. It's not made in China or Taiwan or Japan or Korea. Those things scare me. But get the chlorine out of your life so you rinse off. And then when I grab my towel, my lovely wife has washed that towel in the detergent that's on the website. And it knocks off all of this stuff because I test all of these things. She's also washed all of my clothes, so I test my blue jeans. Hey, I don't wear this coat very often. I have really nice suits. I'm getting ready to give them to Goodwill because those I used to give those seminars. I'm not going to do that anymore. I may give one more January the 12th in Dallas, but that'll probably be my last one. You can talk to me, or I'll do these little webinars to give you new information. So let's review. On myself, I shampoo myself. My wife washes my towels, especially my sheets and my clothes and the detergent. And I test all of that on a regular basis. So I've cleaned up my environment as much as I can, usually for $50 with a mold solution and a HEPA filter. If that doesn't work, I call Jeff Lookout at 505-400-8891. I retest all the time, and every once in a while, I send that plate into immunolytics because there's 2 types of mold. There's toxic mold, and all the guys in white suits scare us with that, and rightfully so for some of it. But more importantly for me, there's anagenistic mold, and there's 2 and maybe 3. There might be 30 of these things. They're the ones that really set my genetics off and make me very susceptible to all the other things in my life. Those are things that we know very little about. But just that little bit of knowledge has helped change my life. I firmly believe it's given me more than 10 to 15 years of very productive time. So this is all very, very, very exciting. So I hope that I've given you something to get started. Test on a regular basis, retest, test your clothes. And the last part is if you have dogs or cats, get the plates, do a tap test on your dog and send it into the lab, and especially cats. Now dogs, I have 2 of them. I have 2 Catahoula Dingo Golden Doodles. I have mountain lions and bears where I live. They're everywhere. We had one here within a quarter of a mile for 2 days, and evidently he must be old and really problematic. So I have dogs. Well, if you test your dogs, you're going to be scared, and rightfully so. You should be scared. But I do a tap test on them 4 times, send it into the lab, and then they're going to give me genus, species, and count, and that's probably some of you guys' biggest problems. You can't let your dog sleep in the room with you. And if you have cats, cats are almost impossible. You can get a brush and lightly spray it with the pet solution. We wash our dogs once a week religiously, shampoo them up twice, rinse them off, and then my wife makes a rinse and we pour that on them. It's called Pet Rinse. It's on that website. And we don't rinse it off. So 3 days later when I test my dogs, especially up here, you know, starting another 2 weeks, we're going to have snow on the ground. That seals all the mold that's living in the ground up here. That makes my life very, very easy. Right now I'm working with a company. They're making a new product that we can clean our floors. But even spraying it with mold solution, getting a rug doctor, putting the pure stuff in there and cleaning your carpets. But you got to get the carpets out. On the website, CitrusAche, they can email you exactly the procedure to get those carpets out without contaminating your home. Now, as you can see, I can go on for 3 days, and that's what I normally do. But this is just a distillation of test, retest, use natural products. All of these things that I've told you are guaranteed. If you try them and for some reason it doesn't work, You call the company and they're going to give you most of your money back without any hassle. So thank you for listening. Call if we can be of service. And you can contact me through PharmaSource, which is the CitraSafe number, or Immunolytics, and they're in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Thank you for your consideration. Don't let people scare you on this, and be sure you know what they're going to be putting in your homes. As a pharmaceutical chemist, I'm more concerned about that than everything we've talked about. So thank you. Good luck. Holler if we can be of service. Good day.